this week's instalment. While this young gun's career almost flatlined by the age of 24, he was a true musketeer who worked his athos with a few good men in a phone booth. He's the lost boy who became the designated survivor, because it's Kiefer Sutherland on tonight, Hollywood Swingers.
That's right, that professional introduction means it's time for our favourite segment of the show, Hollywood Swingers, a segment where we celebrate those Hollywood stars who have swung into music. This week it is Kiefer Sutherland. Tell me about him, Paul.
Kiefer.
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 There's not a th, it's a f.
Okay, Kiefer. Kiefer William Frederick Dempsey George Rufus Sutherland.
That's a lot of names for a person.
Born 21st of December.
Is he a king?
1966, It was a Wednesday, in London, England, to Canadian parents and actors Donald Sutherland and Shirley Douglas.
Love Donald.
Now, you likely know quite a bit already about Donald Sutherland.
Yep.
But Kiefer's family on his mother's side is also very interesting. Now, his maternal grandfather, Tommy Douglas, was a Scot born in Falkirk.
No, he's not called Tom, he's Tam.
Tam
Douglas.
Born in Falkirk.
Yes.
Who emigrated to Canada during the First World War. He would become a politician, and he is credited as bringing universal healthcare to Canada, essentially their version of the NHS.
That's amazing.
Now, moving to the US when Kiefer was 2 years old, his mother was arrested in Los Angeles in 1969 after she was alleged by the FBI to have attempted to buy hand grenades for the Black Panthers. While she was eventually exonerated, Shirley in that period had gotten divorced from Donald.
Yes.
Lost her work permit, and then had to leave the US with her children to return to her native Canada. And it was here that Sutherland spent most of his school days being a bit of a bad boy, including apparently stealing a car at 14 years old.
Tut.
Before deciding to get into the family business and trying acting.
Great.
He made his screen debut with a very small part in the 1983 film Max Dugan Returns. It was a comedy drama that not only starred his father, although they don't appear on screen together, but was also the film debut of Matthew Broderick.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off Boy.
Yeah. After a lauded performance in a 1985 Canadian film called The Bay Boy, Sutherland decided to make the move to Hollywood, where, during his early years, he would share apartments with newcomers Sarah Jessica Parker, Billy Zane, and Robert Downey Jr.
Well, one of them's famous.
Now, one of Kiefer's first roles following the move was playing the bad boy leader of a gang of bullies in 1986's Stand By Me. A fantastic film.
And that kind of became his shtick.
Yeah.
He was the bad boy bully.
Yeah, because the next year he had a breakout role playing the bad boy leader of a gang of vampire bullies in the horror comedy The Lost Boys.
I hated that film so much.
But the shtick worked for him because both were big critical and commercial successes.
Between the two, Lost Boys and Stand By Me, better film.
Stand By Me's the better film. The Lost Boys is the film I probably saw the most when I was younger.
Okay, I think Stand By Me I watched more when I was younger. I thought it was so funny.
1988,
Yep.
then saw the actor star in the Western action movie Young Guns.
I just remember vaguely years after this there still being some sort of a knock on in East End of Glasgow fashion because of this film, where there'd just be like a guy in chaps.
It was a big hit, and it spawned an amazing sequel,
Yes.
Young Guns 2. And when I say amazing, the film's not, but the soundtrack is.
Yes.
Wanted, Dead,
Dead
or
or Alive.
Oh, I should have just played that.
No. Come on.
Anyway.
Continue.
That was in 1990, Young Guns 2, and in the same year, Sutherland also starred as the lead in the horror film Flatliners, alongside
I know that one.
Julia Roberts.
Yep.
That's a scary film.
It's a scary film. They made a TV programme, or they made a
remake
of it.
film, yeah, but that wasn't so good.
No.
So not only was that film a hit, but the actor also started a relationship with Roberts, which saw the pair become major tabloid fodder. Sutherland's stock was never higher, but what comes up must come down.
Yes.
Firstly, his tumultuous relationship with Roberts, this included rumours of Kiefer Sutherland having had an affair.
Tut.
The relationship came to an abrupt end just 3 days before they were due to be married in a lavish ceremony at a 20th Century Fox backlot, right?
No.
That was transformed into like a big wedding pavilion Julia Roberts ran away to Ireland with Kiefer Sutherland's best friend and Lost Boys co-star Jason Patrick.
Why is this not a film? Why?
The
You know how they
actor-
do the feud where it's like Betty Davis and Joan Collins? Why are they not making this? This is drama. I would watch this.
Sutherland was reportedly at the time furious,
Well, of course he's
threatened
human.
harm on his former best friend should they ever meet again.
You walk down this town again, sir. It'll be bullets at dawn.
Not only did Sutherland's love life seem to be on the wane, but in the following years, his career also fell from his prior heady heights. The rest of the early 90s was okay. He had
Yes.
roles in the great film A Few Good Men.
Yes.
He had the lead role in 1993's The Three Musketeers.
Love that
And
film.
yes, I will be using this as an excuse to play its amazing soundtrack song as the palate cleanser. But the actor admits that, just like Julia Roberts, Hollywood seemed to have fallen out of love with him.
A little bit.
After starring in 1994's The Cowboy Way, that was a flop comedy that also starred Woody Harrelson. It saw the pair play some southern rodeo riders being fish out of water style in New York City. Sutherland seemed to take the lifestyle to heart, and he left Hollywood to take up professional rodeo riding. And the actor says many in the sport laughed at him initially. Even broke 3 fingers in his first competition.
Can I just taste something? Kate and Sonny Oben has says, before you start, I was on a 62 bus with him.
There you go. Amazing.
What a fun fact.
I think it's called the number 2 now.
Okay.
Right,
Right, so back to Kiefer,
yeah.
which sounds like a kind of Icelandic yogurt.
Yeah. He even started to win some of the competitions. He actually became
For the rodeo?
competitive in the rodeos.
I'm right into that just
Um,
now because I've been watching Yellowstone.
There you are. So whilst he returned to Hollywood in a couple of years, and he would act in a steady number of films, he was in things like An Eye for an Eye and A Time to Kill and stuff. He still wasn't the lead star that it looked like he was going to become.
Can I make a suggestion? Is it possible that Kiefer's star waned because he wasn't ever really that good?
Well, he did. He wasn't a big star until a certain round-the-clock counter-terrorist agent entered into his life.
I hate this programme.
Starring in the lead role of Jack Bauer in the Fox action drama series 24.
My mum had every season on DVD and
Yeah.
she loved it.
The first series was a mega
It
hit
was awful.
with both audiences and critics.
Uh-huh.
They said that it brought a level of production quality that hadn't been seen on television to that point.
Sure.
It won tons of awards.
Yep.
Talking of DVDs, even Kiefer Sutherland came out and he said that essentially it was a massive hit in the UK where the DVDs outsold everything that year, even like Lord of the Rings, or outsold movies. It was like unheard of.
Kind of like kicked off the idea of binging a box set. It was the
Yeah.
first bingeable television programme because it was each episode is an hour in a day. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a bingeable series.
And which always seemed like a quite a cute conceit, a concept,
Yeah.
until you realise how ridiculous it is, and then how ridiculous it started to make the show.
Yeah.
I mean, Sutherland didn't care, right? He was ended up that big. He was commanding contracts of upwards of $40 million that made him the biggest and highest earning star on television. But
That's like Grey's Anatomy money.
not only did it take 10 months of his time, which meant his film career was essentially put on the back burner.
Oh no, my big film career has to go on the back
Yeah.
burner. How will I ever survive?
But the show got a wee bit ludicrous. It had plots that basically numerous plot twists.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who anyone was, they would turn on you. They,
Oh,
they would be a baddie, then they were a goodie, then they were a baddie again.
Like the wrestling.
People that were dead and then they weren't dead. The president
Dallas.
killed the former president and was involved in all these conspiracies.
Uh-huh.
There was a nuclear explosion in the middle of Los Angeles that you go then and watch 6 episodes later is seemingly forgotten about later in the same day.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to be the same day, and yet people are just driving to work.
All I know about 24 is that my mum really liked it. Nobody ever seemed to poop, which is weird because you're watching people for a
Jack
whole day.
Bauer he
And-
had a heroin addiction, but then he cured himself of the addiction in the space of 12 hours.
And there was a Scottish actor in one of them called James Kirk who did his audition in his nana's garage, and he told me so, and it was really funny because he never told anybody he was going to be on it. And then this Scottish comedian turned up on 24 and we all laughed, which was great.
But eventually he did, I think, 192 episodes. He did a TV movie and its initial run, and then they brought it back for another 12 episodes that nobody really seemed to be bothered
I think
about.
that's the one the Scottish guy was in.
Yeah. But he obviously didn't need the money. He's keeping himself busy now, though, post Jack Bauer.
Yep.
He's starred in a few more TV shows, things like Designated Survivor.
Seen
He's in
that.
The First Lady currently.
Seen that.
He does a load of adverts.
He does.
I played Solid Snake in some of those computer games.
Okay.
And he even made up with his old pal Jason Patrick.
Oh, full circle, best
and now
friends.
they're best chums again.
That's nice. I bet you they get drunk and talk trash about Julia Roberts.
Yeah, bros before, whatever they say. And something else he's kept himself busy with is music.
Oh, I thought you were going to say his antics, because he's known for his antics.
He is known for his antics. I didn't touch on it. He has a lot of drunken shenanigans.
Chicanery.
And he doesn't really seem to think it's a problem.
Who's the man, the famous old man who sang the Calypso album on Spotify? We did him as a Hollywood swinger.
Robert Mitchum.
He's got a hint of the Mitchums about
He
him.
does, yeah. Where he likes a drink. Sometimes
And
when
a
he drinks,
scuffle.
he does silly things.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to get into real trouble with it.
To be that man. Right. Tell me about your singing.
The actor has released 3 studio albums since 2016, and tonight's song comes from Sutherland's 2019 album Reckless in Me. But will his efforts show that it's not always a good idea to do something you love?
Shared some drinks and some old times gone by. Traded our war stories, moments of glory, when I saw the fear in his eye. That's when he told me about the company's setbacks, budgets and cutbacks. And boy, you're on your own. He said, I'm wasting my life just paying my bills, doing my time but getting no chills. The living ain't living now without the thrill of doing something you love. Sing a song loud or hit a ball hard, spend the night outside under the stars. Catch one falling and you'll go far, doing something you love. I was saving for a weekend, hoping that we might spend a little time alone, somewhere watching the sun drop. Yeah, that's when I pop the question and break out the stone. And she told me I'll follow you wherever, and I'll never ever leave you alone. But I'm wasting my time just paying my bills, staying in line but getting no chills. A living ain't living now without the thrill of doing something you love. Dance all night till the moonlight's gone, dive in the river with nothing on. Follow your dreams, you can't go wrong, doing something you love. And one day, when I look back, I don't want to say that I gave our time away. Ain't gonna waste my life just paying my bills, grinding my gears, climbing the bad hills. The living ain't living now without the thrill of doing something you love. Sing a song loud or hit a ball hard, spend the night outside under the stars. Catch one falling and you'll go far, doing something you love.
That was Kiefer with Sutherland with Something You Love. Now, here in the Ashley Storrie Show, we rank our Hollywood swingers on a scale of 1 to 100 Kenny Rogers roasters. Kenny Rogers being the original and the best Hollywood swinger. Get in touch with us via text 80295. Let us know how many Kenny Rogers roasters you give to Kiefer Sutherland. I'm going to come to you first, Paul. Good song. He's clearly a lover of music. He likes to make music. He's enjoying himself. This isn't something he's been forced to do as part of like a film soundtrack. This is something he's chosen to do himself. He's put himself out there. How many Kenny Rogers roasters?
20. It was so boring that we just started talking through that whole song. I just lost interest.
I didn't like it.
Do you know what? I'll give him 24 for the lols.
I thought it was like for somebody who's like done a lot of work on that, it was a bit mediocre.
It's just boring.
Yeah, I'm going to give him 40 Kenny Rogers
He's
roasters.
like one of these guys that's like really, really, really into it. Probably thinks what he's doing is great and I'm loving this life and I'm living it. Like David Duchovny. But you're just so boring and bland.
Doogie for Dunfermline says, "Hi Ashley and Silent Paul. I met Kiefer Sutherland when I worked at Edinburgh. He came off a flight from Frankfurt. We had a short chat and off he went. Was he nice? A lot of our listeners have met Kiefer Sutherland. That's wild."
To be fair, Kiefer Sutherland though does have that look of a guy who comes from like Scotland.
He does. No,
He does have a lot of Scottish heritage on both sides of the family. I mean, the surname Sutherland isn't coming from anywhere other than Scotland. So it could have just been someone that you met that looked like Kiefer Sutherland.
I'm going to believe you because nobody believes me that I met Harrison Ford roller skating in Kelvin Grove Park with two huskies. So I'm going to believe that you met Kiefer Sutherland both at an airport and on a number 62 bus. Kate and Sunny Oban gives 67 or 62 for Kiefer. And the Rat Man, he says, got to give him the max out of 100. It's more than 75 from Rat Man. That doesn't make sense, but Rat Man's giving him a high score. Hi guys. Ashley, great to have you back. Swinger, not necessarily my cup of tea genre-wise, but I thought for what it was, O'Keefe gave it a good go. Quite convincing country rock attempt. 70 Kenny Rogers roasters from our friend Martin in Orkney. Get in touch via text 80295. Let us know the score, or you can email us. What's the email, Paul?
It's ashleystoryShow@bbc.co.uk.
Right, time for our palate cleanser. It's one of me and Paul's favourite songs. It features Rod Stewart, Bryan Adams, Sting.
I think this song would have more love if it came from a better movie.
Yes, but also I think it would have more love if they weren't deliberately trying to copy Bryan Adams' success of his Robin Hood Prince of Thieves
You're allowed
song.
to copy if you make. It's not copying if what you make is better than the first thing.
I'm sorry, are you saying that this song is better than the song from Robin Hood Prince of Thieves?
Yeah.
Bold words.
Bold
words.
about it.
Holy mackerel, he's just throwing that down there. What a truth bomb. Here it is. All for love and one for all.